All right, guys, we're back at it again. I said it was coming yesterday, and here it is. We're back here on our Black Sabbath album review series. We're getting to the tail end of the 80s here with 1987, I believe. Yes, okay, awesome. I thought so. 1987's The Eternal Idol, right here. Really, really cool album cover. There's kind of a funny story behind it. Was that apparently Sabbath and the guys, they were trying to get a certain image from an artist or something to put on the album cover, but they didn't. You know, there was going to be a whole copyright thing and all. But so what they decided to do was get two models and pretty much coat them in this paint. Well, it pretty much poisoned the models on here, so they had to rush them to the hospital and get them treated and all. So it was kind of a crazy ordeal, but I mean, it's a pretty dark and pretty cool looking cover nonetheless. But yeah, at this point, the band, weere coming hot off of a Seventh Star, which was, kind of supposed to be a Tony Iommi solo album. Didn't really turn out that way. They tacked on the Black Sabbath part, so Geezer didn't really tag along for that one, and Geezer's staying away yet again, sadly, from this album. So Geezer is not on the bass. But other than that, we mostly have the same lineup from that, except, of course, we've got Tony Martin on vocals, a highly, highly underrated vocalist. And a little funny thing about that beforehand, too, these guys, they were kind of in the midst of trying out different singers. In fact, Ray Gillen, of course, from Badlands, he was going to be on this album, and he even recorded the whole damn album with them. And funnily enough, I even just ordered a bootleg of this album on CD with the Ray Gillen tapes, of him doing the vocals, and he pretty much wrote all the vocal melodies. So they had, but after that didn't really work out, they had Tony Martin come in here and pretty much just redo all the vocal tracks. But yeah, so we got Tony Martin, who's got kind of like a mix of Ray Gillen and Dio's voice, to be honest. I remember I was watching a video one time when I was probably 15, 16, and it was top Sabbath songs or something, playing little clips of the songs, and I saw one or two from some of the albums he's on, and I just thought it was Dio. I was like, man, I didn't know Dio was on that many albums of them. So, but it wasn't until, of course, I got a little bit older that I figured out that Tony Martin was, kind of a hidden gem, and kind of Sabbath's best kept secret in a way. Just kind of, they don't really give him much recognition even nowadays. But I think he's an incredible vocalist. But yeah, we've got him on vocals. We got Jeff Nichols again on keyboards. Just does an awesome job on here. Eric Singer, from Badlands as well. Maybe that's where he met Ray. I don't know. But yeah, he's on here on drums again. He's in Kiss nowadays. Then we've got Bob Daisley doing a little bit of the bass work, and so is that Dave Spitz guy from Seventh Star. And of course, Tony Iommi is, won't ever be a Sabbath album without him. It's his band, But with that being said, guys, we're gonna hop into this thing, and you open up with just a breathtaking opener, The Shining. That's how you introduce the vocalist right there. I mean, holy hell, the range Tony Martin get me, because think about it, he was having to match and re-record Ray Gillen's voice, and vocal work and melodies and range. So that's not a very easy task, but Martin went in there and just slayed the hell out of it. And The Shining has got a really, really cool riff to it. And, oh man, the beautiful, beautiful breakdown where it kind of slows down. And it just sounds like, oh man, just very angelic voice from Tony Martin. And right off the bat, too, we'll talk a little bit about the production. I think this is a solid produced album. It has very similar production to kind of Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules. Although I would say my minor gripe about the production is I don't think... I mean, I obviously got a great tone on here, especially during some solos. But I think that, pretty much, I mean, it's not necessarily a gripe. They would get better with the Tony Martin era as time would go on here. With, like we'll see on the next album and the one after that, the production would get a lot better on the Sabbath albums. I just think maybe Iommi's guitar, the production on it, I think it maybe could have been turned up a little bit, and to give it more of that crunch and maybe a little bit more low end to it. But, that's just minor gripes, But The Shining is just, that's become a classic Sabbath song to me. I'll never forget hearing that for the first time and being like, holy wow, you know, and just blown away. I was like, who the hell is this Tony Martin guy? Where did he come from? You know, like, and you know, that's how you introduce him. So that's one of my favorites off here for sure. Then we got track number 2, Ancient Warrior. That probably is my favorite, just hands down, because man, you talk about, this one's got kind of a darkness to it, and the riff on this one is just, it's kind of Egyptian sounding in a way. And I love the groove it's got going. Eric Singer's in the background beating the hell out of the drums. I love the way the vocal melody kind of snakes its way through the verses. And in the choruses, you know, man, after they do like the King of All Kings thing, you know, then you hear like a whoa of like freaking Iami's like slide down there. That's a dark growl. That's a really cool tone. And then you get kind of the darker, like after vocal, after, you know, the kind of game vocal thing. And then what really makes that chorus dark is when Martin's like, the keeper of lights, like just kind of says it in a dark kind of evil kind of tone. It's just got a very, just such a powerful song. And the solo in this, that's a damn guitar tone I like to hear from Iami right there. And, you know, they turned it up, of course, on the solos, and you hear it loud and proud on this. It's one of my favorite Sabbath solos of all time, and it's been that way for quite some time. It's so powerful with the kind of, the keyboards in the background. It sounds almost like Gregorian chants or like a choir going on, like really dark. I mean, man, that just adds so much to that solo alone. Is just the kind of the keyboard in the background sounding all mystic and dark like that. So Ancient Warrior is one of my favorite freaking songs off here, one of my favorite Sabbath songs of all time. Then we get kind of more of an upbeat one, you know, Hard Life to Love. And I'll tell you, man, this is a really good song. Some of these other tracks, like, I've always really, really liked this album, loved it, in fact. But some of these deeper cuts, you know, upon this re-listen here, I've come to appreciate them even more and more, and I do each time. And Hard Life to Love is one of them. It's got kind of a cool upbeat riff, and yet again, the singer's just bam, 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 you know, drumming it, and, you know, taking care of business, and, you know, on that drum set, and killing it. And it's got a really cool, it's kind of got a little bit of bluesiness to it, not a lot, but it's just kind of a faster pace one. I could hear that maybe being off of, you know, off from the Dio era, you know. Then we get Glory Ride, which I love the keyboards again. And Jeff Nichols really, really shines on this album. You know, it's like, and the keyboards on here make it still also give it kind of that, you know, ancient kind of mysticism to it, that kind of feeling. And I used to not really like that song, Glory Ride, but it really has grown on me with the kind of galloping, you know, galloping kind of beat to it. And, you know, really, really cool song to close out side 1. All right, then we go to open up track 2 with Born to Lose. And man, you get like almost a, yeah, I don't know if he's using, you know, a slide, you know, piece for on that riff or not, but I mean, either way, he's sliding the hell out of that thing on this riff. And Born to Lose, it really sounds like a Badlands song to me. So you can really hear Ray Gillen's kind of songwriting show through here. And it totally, and it's mainly within the verses, as far as like the, you know, kind of grunts and stuff, and like the vocal fills that go down here. Martin yet again kills it. I love the chorus, super, super hooky. And, you know, just that's always been a highlight for me off here is Born to Lose, man. I love it, but again, a more upbeat one. Then we go back to that darkness on this album. We're talking about Nightmare. Kind of opens up with this weird, kind of creepy, kind of dreamlike keyboard going on. Almost sounds like a xylophone or something. I know it's not probably, but really, really creepy sounding. And then just that riff comes in, and then, you know, this was kind of a droney song at first, and then you get into this beautiful chorus, you know, it's a dream within a dream, you know, lost and lonely, don't get fooled by the devil's hand. I mean, that's just some badass lyric writing, and I love the progression of this track as it just goes on and on through a really epic feel to Nightmare. And, you know, especially at the end, whenever Tony Martin with his just freaking, again, I can't say enough about how great his voice is, like where he's doing that last chorus and just belts it out and hauls that note, and it just, man, love it. Amazing. Then we get a really, really cool little mini instrumental kind of thing, maybe like a 2-minute one, Scarlet Pimpernel. And just, it's really kind of, it sounds really medieval, and I really like it with, and kind of, again, kind of a dark feel to it, which this album does have a lot of dark undertones and stuff to it, but they would get a lot darker the next album, as we'll see. Then we get to probably my least favorite off here, Lost Forever. I do like that song, though. It's another one of them fast, you know, upbeat ones, so it's totally a good song there. It just, I would say, among all of these great songs, it would have to probably be my least favorite, but I dig Lost Forever. Then we close it out with probably the biggest epic offer and the darkest one, the title track, Eternal Idol. Man, it's creepy as all get out. You get kind of these dark vocals through the verses, and, like, you know, kind of deeper vocals, and then harmonies going on that sound really kind of creepy as well. And, you know, a really, really, kind of more of like a, I'm trying to think of the best word to describe it. I mean, I'll just come out. It's kind of like more like satanic sounding lyrics, pretty much. But, you know, which they would delve a lot more into on the next album. Like I said, this is a perfect prelude to Headless Cross that we'll look up next time. But, yeah. And also the chorus during this, you know, is again one of the highlights of Tony Martin's voice in his entire career, if you ask me. It's just like wailing, and oh, absolutely love, love, love this song and this album as a whole. It's, you know, one of the most underrated Sabbath albums. This whole 80s era of Sabbath, pretty much, besides the two, you know, Dio albums in the 80s, those get treated as they should, you know, rightfully so, you know, and our people praise them like they should, because I love those albums. But, you know, the Ian Gillan stuff, the Glenn Hughes stuff with them, you know, even the Ray Gillan little demo tapes. I wish Sabbath would release an official thing with them, but I doubt it will, considering the controversy around Ray Gillan, you know, that whole thing, if you guys know about him. But, you know, and they don't really give this man on here a lot. They had some bad blood, and they kind of did Tony Martin dirty, if you ask me, which we'll kind of get into as we go through the albums here, because guess what? We're going to get to Mr. Tony Martin staying on vocals here for a little bit. Finally, a consistent singer for a couple albums here. So stay tuned, guys. I would love to hear what you guys think about this album, and if you guys dig it or not. And what do you guys think about Tony Martin? Because you don't hear a lot of people talk about him, but I love the hell out of him. Amazing vocalist. And next time we'll be taking a look at the last Sabbath album from the 1980s, Headless Cross. Takes the darkness from this one and just turns it up to a whole other level. But yeah, like, subscribe, comment, guys, and let me know what you think about this right here. Thanks.